Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we are looking at the new Injora 1.3 Modu-Wheel. These are the carbon fiber faces. They also have the oil slick or all silver or chrome look. We've already got these guys kind of going on here. So we'll show these. But we've got those, and we've also got the new 1.3 tires. We've got the Klingons, these guys here. The XHX pins, and these things feel pretty nasty. These things are going to be awesome. And then the last ones here are the Swamp Claws. And these are all in the 1.3 inch to go on these wheels here. And I just want to show you some cool stuff about these wheels. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and show you what comes with a set of wheels. I dig their packaging for a simple packaging. They come super nice. The window shows them well. The foam keeps them nice and safe. Got our hardware. Looks like they're not coming with the little tool anymore, which is kind of okay because I think we have plenty. We have plenty of those tools, and anybody that's working on a truck should have their hex wrench and whatnot, so yeah, definitely okay with it not coming with that tool. The hex head size is a 1.5 millimeter, and these wheels, like I said, they're pretty slick. Here, I'll go ahead and open one up right now for you. So the rear hex comes off, and you can mount it on either side, which is what we've done here. So if you wanted to, you could flip that hex over to the inside, and now you've got this as your face versus the deep dish. Now, a lot of people do like the deep dish, but some don't want the scrub radius that causes, because if your wheels stick out too far and your tires stick out too far from your knuckle, it causes scrub. So it just depends on how your axles are set up and what kind of scrub radius you're looking at, but some will like them set up with the deep dish, and then also the option to flip it will be super nice. So you could, have them set inward so you have less scrub radius, narrow up your track a little bit. Now, one thing I wish Injora would have done was oil slick this inner ring as well. They were probably thinking, well, nobody's going to see it. We can just do it chrome. It's fine. But it really would have been nice if this was done in the same way this was done, just so that when you did flip this around, you would have an oil slick look there as well, because it would give you a lot more options in just choices, right? Because some people are going to want to run these wheels the opposite way. I mean, they look pretty sharp. You can see here's some of the other designs. So these guys here are the 6-hole design. These are the 8-spoke wheels. And then these ones here are I think they're 18? Yeah, 18 spoke. So some pretty slick designs. I like that they're carbon. They look good. I like that you can flip the hex. That's nice. Like I said, the only thing that I wish they had done differently is anodize these with the oil slick look. But yeah, I think they look pretty good. I like that look. You can kind of see it a little better there. It's nice they have different, the different offsets that you could use. I'm sure that they probably are going to have some different offset hexes, so you could narrow and deepen the hex to get even more offset if you needed to. So definitely cool. We're going to go ahead and get some tires set up on these and get them on some trucks. These tires are damn good. So these ones right here, the Swamp Claws, they are 70 millimeter tires. 70 by 27 by 1.3. These guys here are 72 millimeter tires. These are the pins. The XHX pin. And these are grippy. And then these guys as well. These are 70 millimeters, and they are the Klingons. A lot of people are liking this tread pattern for sure. They come with their foams. They're just single stage foams. I think these things would do real well with some inserts in them. So I definitely consider snagging up some inserts. And yeah, they look like they're different compounds, which is interesting here. Like you can kind of see, I don't know if it's just the mold release, but these are kind of glossy, and this guy is not so glossy. They do feel a little different in their compound. You can see these guys are sticky. They've already got some stuff stuck to them from our bench, but these guys are also very, very grippy, and I know a lot of people are loving the Swamp Claws. So we're excited to get these on some wheels and get them on some rigs, and definitely some bigger tires, right? So these are going to be more for your 18th scale or your really comped out 24s where you've got tons of wheel clearance and whatnot. We also have some brass here. So we're going to throw some brass into a set, and we'll probably just do the fronts, do 2 in one set and 2 in another set, and just have the front tires brassed out, front wheels. And because I don't like to have tons of weight in the wheels, but having it towards the front would help. So definitely getting some brass in the front will be helpful on some of these rigs. But yeah, I'm excited. These are some awesome looking wheels. So I figured I'd go ahead and just weigh these in for you. Here's a stock wheel. Oh, hold on, we're missing some bolts here. That matters. All right, you'd be surprised at how much weight hardware adds, as you start to put hardware on things. It adds up pretty quick. These guys are 21.31 grams, and then with the brass and our hardware, we are at 39.63. So that's a pretty big difference. It's almost 20 grams total. These by themselves are 27 grams. The stock ones, they're 8.7 grams. So yeah, basically like 18 grams difference on each wheel. So that's going to be a huge difference, especially in a forward weight bias situation where you're only putting these guys on the front. Should be good. Another thing I'm really digging is the larger hardware. It's not the M14 like the SCX 24s come with. It's larger than that. It's actually M6, 1.6. You can see it. It says 1.56, but when you actually measure screws, they're slightly smaller. Their actual dimensions are slightly smaller than their M size. So like that's a M16. Here's a M14. And you'll see that it's going to be slightly under 1.4. So M14 and then M16. So the bigger hardware is nice because you're less likely to break the head off or strip it out when you're putting that in there. So definitely dig that, but just keep that in mind. If you lose a screw or something, you need to get an M1.6 size screw, not an M14, not an M15, 1.6. And while we've still got the scale out, I figured let's go ahead and weigh these things. I'm curious. This guy's 15.8. The Klingon's 15.8. The pin is 17.1. Ooh, 19.3 for the claws. Swamp claws are the heaviest, so they're already in order from lightest to heaviest. Not that that really matters, but hey, we had it out. Figured I'd show you. Let's get some stuff mounted. Mounting these guys is super simple. I also wanted to point out that both the brass rings and these rings are vented, so you don't have to worry about venting. Just throw your ring in there. Make sure your foam's sitting on it nicely. Okay. Then you throw the back on, or the front in this case. We're doing the fronts. Make sure that the bead sits nicely on there. And then this will slide right in there. Make sure your holes are lined up as closely as possible. Pull your bead out and around that outer ring, the back ring here. Your bead will actually just sit on that silver ring, like so. And then you can start screwing it down. We get lucky? Oh, I don't think we got lucky. Did we line up with our holes? Not quite. Close though. So you'll have to just kind of turn it and get it to rotate. If you find that it's hard to get your rings to turn, you can always put a little bit of water on the bead or spit, whatever, lube it up a little, and that'll help you rotate your rings while in the bead so you can kind of get them lined up. You can also use a much longer screw if you wanted, like get a real long screw just to line it up. That'll help. You could also use those hex wrenches to stick in there and just get it to line up with the holes with your hex wrench if you got extras of those or a driver or something. Hell, we've even got this drill bit. We'll just use this tiny drill bit. It'll help us line up our hole. And once you're aligned, you can go ahead and pull your bead out and around. There we go. And we'll hold this down and get our screw started. Now that'll align you on that screw hole, but the other screw holes may not be aligned, but at least you can get it started there. And I wouldn't screw it all the way down, just enough. Okay, so that's holding, and then you can start working on the opposite screw hole and see if you can get that to line up. And if you can't, you can always back the screw out and use your little guide tool to try to get it to fit. There we go. Now I can feel that we dropped in there. Our hole's aligned. Pull that guy out and stick our screw in. Super simple. And again, we're not going to tighten it all the way down. Just kind of get it going, get it a little snug. And then we'll work our way around to each of the other screws and get them all started. And then we'll go and tighten them up. Make sure you don't cross-thread anything. If you feel it start to go in kind of tight, just back the screw out, kind of reverse it until you feel it kind of click and drop in, and then you can start going in again. So while these are bigger screws, if you force something and strip it out, it can happen. It can happen. Okay. And then you usually want to tighten kind of in a cross pattern or a star pattern. Boom. All beaded up. Let's go. Now on these guys, not so much these guys, but on these guys, there is a forward and a back. These are basically rotation. They're the side you put them on matters. The direction they go, they're directional. Direction they go matters. Some people think they work better going backwards. Some people think they work best going forward. Some people will put them opposites. There's no right way, but just know that the pattern on this tire compared to these two tires is not symmetrical, right? This tire doesn't care which way it goes. It's the exact same. Same with this tire. The pattern is actually the exact same on each side of the tire, so it doesn't matter which way you turn it. However, on this guy, you can see it's directional. There's kind of arrows essentially pointing the direction. And that's the direction generally that you want the tire to rotate when moving forward. So a lot of times you'll see the tires mounted this way, which means you got to make sure when you mount the other side that it's facing the same direction. And if you're doing weights only in the fronts, you need to make sure one is on one direct, facing this direction, and one is going the other direction when you mount your wheels in there, so that your wheels are proper to your tire and that you know what your fronts are. Okay. And then certain inserts are also directional. So keep that in mind, that when you put certain printed or silicone inserts in there, they will be directional sometimes. So you want to make sure they're going the same direction as your tire is intending on going. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to finish mounting these up, and I'm going to show you the offsets on the truck. And if you guys haven't checked out the Injora electric screwdriver, pretty cool. We've got a video on it. We'll put the video right over there. Definitely handy. Just want to make sure you hold it kind of loose so that you don't over torque these guys. And then once they're all kind of just snugged loosely like that, you can go back and hand tighten it basically. Oh, here we go. And then you can kind of snug them by hand the rest of the way. Pretty nifty little tool though. Comes with all the mini sized drivers. 1.5, 1.3, 0.50, and then some of the different hex drivers or box wrenches, and a screw Phillips head, a 2 Phillips head, 2 millimeter, 0.50, 1.3, 1.5, 4 millimeter box, 5 millimeter box, and 5 millimeter box. Like I said, pretty nifty. It's got like an 850 milliamp battery in there, forward, backwards. The only thing it's kind of missing that I've seen on a lot of them are lights. I wish there were torque settings, but again, for the price, you're probably not going to get torque settings at that price point. So they're like under $30. I think it's actually $29.99, but that's with everything. You can also buy the driver separate or the tips separate if you wanted just the tips or just the driver. Anyway, check out that video. So I think we're getting here. Needed to make sure my directions were correct here, right? They're both going the same direction. These are my fronts. We're doing these with the with some positive offset to help sink the wheel in. And yeah, we got all of our pins done. We're going to do those with the oil slicks with a negative offset to push the wheels out. And then we're going to be working on our Klingons here. They're going to be next. We'll do the Klingons with the white, with the silver rings. These guys here. So we'll do silver rings on the Klingons, and we'll do them with the negative offset. Get that wide track width. And it's nice if you ever want to change the offset, you don't have to pull the hex off. You literally can just flip it, right? Like if you were in here like this and you want it the other way, all you got to do is take out the screws when you're rebead your tires and flip it. And now you can be this way. Pretty cool. Once you've got your hex on there, you don't have to take it off. So you could Loctite that if you really wanted to make sure those aren't going to come off. Put a little bit of Loctite on there and yeah, flip them as you see needed. Pretty cool. All right. We are all done. We're all mounted up. I've also got some mounted on the car. You can clean up here. A little bit of a pro tip. Use a magnet to pick up your screws. Yeah, buddy. Oh, and I wanted to point out that the hardware bag does come with some axle pins. Not sure exactly why, but nice that they come with axle pins. Just in case you need them, I guess. Dig it. And here we have it on a Cayman Pro V2. I've got some negative offsets on this side, through the Klingons, and then the swamp claws on this side with the positive offset. So I can show you kind of the difference in how much offset there is. I don't know how well this is going to convey, but you can kind of see it, right? So if you look at the axles, you can really see it. So these have extensions on them because that's how the truck comes. But so there it is with the negative offset, and there it is with the positive offset. You can see how much it tucks it in, which is kind of what we're going for. This truck's already too wide. I mean, we could pull the hex extenders off too and go with the deep dish and tuck it in, but just wanted to, again, we had this truck sitting here, so I figured I'd show you on here just kind of the difference in the width. Like that's a pretty big difference. It says the negative offset is negative 4.05. I'm not sure what that would make the positive though, if you were to flip them like this. I guess probably the same in the other direction, right? Positive 4.05. Either way, you can see it's pretty big offset there. Harder to tell from this side. Compress it and try to show you, but maybe if I took it off, you can really see it there. Look how shifted it is. Okay. Anyway, some cool wheels for sure. Love that you can flip them. These are larger wheel nuts on the FCX. These are basically FCX axles. So they are the 5.5, and there's still enough spacing to fit our driver in there. So that's nice. This is the Injora driver, and it's pretty thin-walled. A lot of our drivers, we have to thin them out. Here's a 5.5, and you see we had to thin this out just because a lot of other wheels are pretty tight. But we're good here. Totally good, especially with the Injora driver. Yeah. All right, we got all 3 wheels and tires all set up. Throwing on some rigs. Got these guys set up on the Fury wagon. Looking good. Klingons. Cayman Pro V2. It's going to be rolling with the Swamp Claws. And then the Cayman Pro SZK, we took that body off. Basically a Cayman Pro V2. Same chassis, pretty much everything's the same. But we threw our little Red Bull buggy on there with the pins. the XHX pans. And you can see we went ahead and did the standard offset that they come with the oil slicks on this one. We did the silver ring with a standard offset on this guy. And then we flipped them on the Cayman Pro here. To get us some inset. And you can see the difference in wheelbase that we get from that. So again, these two are the exact same axles. And look at the difference. Pretty big difference just by changing the offset. Okay. Pretty cool. Guess we got to go driving some. Now, I really hate doing tire reviews because what works on my terrain may or may not work on your terrain. Are altitude, humidity, temperature, the type of rock you run on, your rig setup, all of that changes what tires work best for your rig. So just keep that in mind when you're watching people do tire reviews. What I can tell you is all these tires are super soft, nice and squishy. They feel like they're a good compound. Like I said, these two, I think, are a different compound than the Swamp Claws. You can just by the way they look. But yeah, take it with a grain of salt, but we'll just show you some running videos. And there you have it, everybody. The new Injora Modu-Wheel and their new tires. Definitely worth checking out if you're needing those 1.3 big guys here. Clear the portals and whatnot on these types of rigs. Tires seem great. Again, your mileage may vary depending on your rig setup and your location, type of rocks you're on, all that good stuff. But the wheels look good, and that cannot be denied. Like I said, the only downside or thing that I wish they did differently is that they put the inner rings the same as the outer rings, especially if they had like black, right? I don't know if they have black ones, but if they have black ones, definitely want black inner rings. You just don't want it looking like where you can see the one color here and then on the inside you can see the other. Plus, when you flip them, you definitely would like to have that same finish on the inside and outside. Other than that, though, guys, awesome. They went together pretty easy. Nice bulky hardware, you know, stout hardware, and yeah, they just look good. They look good, and they're priced well. So definitely need to get some inserts on these guys. You know, the foams the tires usually come with, not so hot 90% of the time. Plus, it always depends on the weight of your rigs. So we kind of want some stiffer sidewalls, which, you know, inserts will give you. So anyway, glad you guys stuck around. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks to everybody that's watching. Thanks to all the subscribers. And most of all, thanks to all of our channel members. These guys over here, they get to see these videos early before anybody else with no ads. They also get channel member only videos, sometimes with some behind the scenes stuff, as well as extra entries into giveaways we do. And we should be coming up real soon on a giveaway. When we hit 10,000 subs, we'll be giving away an RTR, a mini RTR under $200 of the winner's choice. And you get extra entries being a channel member. Also by sending in photos, we'll give you all the information in the giveaway video, but sending in photos wearing swag or having stickers on trucks while you're running them, all that stuff gets you extra entries. Other than that, guys, definitely go check out the other videos on the channel. We got tons of content showing builds, upgrades, reviews, breakdowns, you name it. It's on the channel, events, stuff like that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And again, thanks to all the channel members. You can also check out our swag if you want to help support the channel. We don't make any money on it, just like $1 or $2 to help, you know, deal with the fluctuation in price, basically. And they'll ship straight to your door. They get printed on demand from that company, so we never touch them, but it does help support the channel. And again, when you send in photos wearing swag for the contest, you get extra entries. Giveaway, not a contest. There's no contest of any kind. It's not really a contest other than, I guess, coolest photos, but you don't win from that. You just get the entries, whatever. Giveaway. And yeah. All right, guys, get out there, build something awesome, build a car, build a course, build a community, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it, but don't break the expensive parts. Take care.